Plus, police have asked people to avoid an intersection in Lansing while they investigate a shooting. News 10 at 11 starts now.
First alert weather and live local coverage. This is News 10.
A sea of light in the dark. Tonight, candles lit up Lansing as the city came together to make sure those impacted by crime know they're never walking alone. It was a powerful display of strength and remembrance as people gathered for the 37th annual Michigan Crime Victims' Rights Vigil. Good evening. I'm Ann Emmerich. News 10's Rachel Fulton joins us now live in studio to tell us how this event offers people a sense of peace.
Good evening, Ann. This is National Crime Victims' Rights Week. The purpose of tonight's vigil was to prove that even in the wake of tragedy, there is a community ready to hold you up.
That's all I ever asked for was the truth. And the truth was my daughter was murdered.
During a week that brings difficult emotions to the surface across Michigan, people gathered in Lansing to remember and reflect on crime victims and make their voices heard.
I believe victims deserve a voice. Families deserve justice. And there must be strong accountability for those who commit these crimes.
National Crime Victims' Rights Week can reopen wounds for those still grieving from loss or personal tragedy, but it also creates space for them to share what they carry every day.
The crime has not been solved. We are fighting every day and praying every day for justice for our grandson, who would have had a beautiful, wonderful future.
And unsolved crimes bring ripple effects. People describe them like a swan on water, calm at the surface, but constantly moving underneath. Joining the victims and families on this night were officials dedicated to taking on crime in our communities.
There's crime going from the UP all the way down to Monroe County in southern Michigan.
Living through these criminal cases can make people feel isolated.
It's tough to go through the criminal justice system, and so often we hear as prosecutors, the defendants have the rights. Why don't we have any rights?
Which is why organizers say vigils like this matter, not only to remember the last handheld or the last photo taken, but to give voice to what needs to change for the future. Tonight's vigil was one of several events happening across Michigan this week to honor victims. If you or someone you love has been impacted by crime, there are local and state resources ready to help with counseling and support. Back to you at the desk, Ann.
Rachel, thank you. We have included links to those resources through the Ingham County Prosecutor's Office and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services on our website, WILX.com. Well, here is a look at the Ingham County Courthouse.